morning. My name is Heike Heyman. I'm with Ideas Share Business Coaching here with Nancy Niccolo of Huff Insurance.
Hi, good morning.
How are you today?
I'm great, thank you.
Thank you for having us here to talk about your business and what our audience might be able to learn from you. For starters, I mentioned part of your company name is insurance, so you're in the insurance business. Can you tell us a little bit more about what it is you do here at Huff?
Huff Insurance is an independent insurance agency, so that allows our clients to have choices because we represent multiple insurance companies. We do both personal and business insurance. And because we represent so many different carriers, we can find the right fit of coverage and carrier and price for the customer to fit their needs.
Okay, and I've heard that that can be challenging and basically impossible if somebody were to call an 800 number and say,
Yes.
you said, "I'll just get one option," so you're really...
Yeah, so we can present multiple options to the customer and then let them make the decision that best fits them.
Okay, fantastic. Now, tell me a little bit about how many people work with you and how you got to be the owner of this company.
Okay, well, Huff Insurance currently employs 11 employees. We started the agency in 1960. It was started by my father, who started out in the garage of his home running an in-home business. Moved it out to this location that we're currently in 1968. Since then, I started working in the agency at 14. At that point, we still had file cabinets and paper files and things like that. So I was a file clerk and then, did odds and ends things until after I graduated college in '94. Then I came on board full-time in the personal lines, doing home, auto, boat, insurance, things like that, being an account manager. And then my dad passed away in 2007. So at that point in time, I was the only child in the business, and so I decided to continue the business, keep it running. And since his departure in 2007, we've ended up doubling the size of the agency and increasing the number of employees as well as the number of customers that we take care of.
That's fantastic. So how do your clients find you and how do you find them potentially?
It's a multitude of ways. We do a lot of online marketing, a lot of SEO work on our website. We do some banner ads and Google ads, things like that. Also being involved in the community, just letting people know that you're out there, that you do insurance. We have a social media presence with our Facebook page and our LinkedIn, things like that. And then of course, just because we've been in business so many years, we get so many referrals from our existing customers who know people that are looking for insurance and know that we do a good job for them and want us to help their neighbor or their friend or their relative.
Right.
So it's not just one way that we get business, it's a multitude of all those ways. In fact, we'll have customers call us and say, I was looking online and I found you guys online and I realized that I passed you for the last 30 years going to work, or I had read about your agency, or I had seen this on Facebook, and so it just all goes hand in hand.
Right.
in getting that referral and getting that lead.
Right, yeah, it's always about the multiple exposures to finally get someone to walk in the door with your business and many others. But
Right.
It sounds like you have a lot of bases covered. And now, earlier we were talking about this plaque here that takes you to a whole nother level in your industry in terms of being involved.
Yes.
Regionally, nationally, would you like to share a little bit about what that stands for?
Yes, well, that plaque represents the year that I was president of the State Association of the Independent Insurance Agents, which is our representation, our trade association for independent insurance agents in the state of Maryland. And I had the privilege to serve on the board and then on the executive committee and then become president in 2003, 2004. So it's been an interesting journey bringing them part of that organization, the things that they've taught me as far as legislation, just the support of having other agents that I know in the industry that I can go to when I have an issue or I need some advice. All of that has just really enhanced our ability to get things done for our clients.
Yes, you mentioned that earlier before we started shooting here, that your direct knowledge of decision makers in your field and in legislation helps you to serve your clients. So that's fantastic.
Yes.
That really
Yeah.
sets you apart. Now, one of the things I was hoping you could give us some insight on is being a member of a family business. When you first started out with your dad running it, and then later on you told me that now your husband works here
Yes.
and your children too. So family dynamics are something tough to deal with in business because you can't shut it off when you go home. So tell us a little bit about how you deal with that and what the benefits are, as well as maybe some of the challenges.
Well, it by far is the best decision that I made, both with my husband and with my dad. When my dad passed away, I said in his eulogy, I was the lucky one. There was 4 children. I was the lucky one because I got to see him every day, good days, bad days, really have that relationship that I might not have experienced if I had gone to work somewhere else. So looking back on that at the time of his death, I really felt very fortunate being a part of this business. It is definitely a balance that you have to make between home life and business life. And you have to also understand what each person is really good at and let them do that and kind of not interfere and hope that both of your strengths and weaknesses play off of each other.
Right.
When Ray was in the business, he was the epitome of a salesperson. I mean, that was his strength. My strength was more of the administrative and proposals and working with the customers and customer service. And so we had opposite strengths. So that helped us succeed. With Jerry, I've had to adapt myself more into Ray's role now that he's not here. With my husband coming aboard, his strengths are more the finance and the SEO and the marketing. So it's a totally different aspect of the same business. So we joke that, we can be at work all day and we never even see each other because he has things that he's working on. I have things that I'm working on. We're not dependent on each other, but we need each other to both succeed. And I think that's really important. If I was working hand in hand with that family member and I need you to do this so I can do that, it would probably be a lot harder of an environment to work in. But for us, what we found is just let each person show their strengths, let them just handle that piece of the puzzle and be happy that you have somebody with that opposite strength, and don't try to manage them necessarily with that. Just let them embrace that strength and let them go on.
That's really good.
And now that my kids are involved, they're still learning. So it's really fun to guide them into making some decisions. They're both very young. One just graduated high school, the other one's going into high school. So they have a lot of career choices to make. And my hope is just to expose them to what insurance, how many different options there are in insurance, what a great lifestyle it's provided for them and our family, and what an impact it makes on the community. That it's not just you're selling something when you're selling insurance, you're selling protection and peace of mind, and how important that is for people, and letting them get exposed to what insurance does.
Right.
And that's the most important thing for me, is that they understand it, they've got a good business sense on their head. And, I hope one of them will decide to stay in the agency, but if that doesn't happen, I just want them to be exposed to everything that it has to offer.
That's fantastic, and you've certainly built a very great business here. So could you tell us a little bit more about any kind of advice that you've received, or something you've learned that you've read that helped you to double your business since you took it over?
The biggest thing that I learned was that you can be a fixture in the community for now 66 years. But when people are looking for that service, you can't just rely on the fact everyone should know us. We've been here for 66 years. We're part of the chamber. We can participate in community events. Everybody should just know us. because so many people start their search online. And you really have to be online with them. Not to say that people are going to necessarily buy online or that they want to have that experience, but people go online to do their research.
Yes.
And when they find somebody who's local in their community that can do something, 90% of the people want to deal with somebody who's local. And so, but when they found you, they initially found you online. And so don't think to yourself, you know, I don't need an online presence. I don't have to worry about it. We've been in business 20 years or 30 years. Everybody knows us. Because when people are looking for that initial, you know, I need insurance or I need XYZ service, they're pulling out their smartphone or they're going online to find that.
Yes.
And then when they find somebody local, that's who they tend to do business with. And they might not do business with you online. They may pick up the phone, they may still walk through your door, but they look for online. Who can I find that can offer me this XYZ service?
So do you actually track where people come from when
Yes.
they first approach you?
Yes, we ask them, how did you find out about Huff Insurance? If they say online, we ask them more specific questions, like, you know, what did you put in the search field? Did you find us online because you went to the Huff Insurance website? You know, so, because sometimes people say to you, I found you online, but the reason they found us online is because so-and-so referred them to Huff Insurance and then they went online to get our phone number.
Right.
So I don't, you know, that's not really to us an online referral, but we'll have people say to us, you know, I Googled auto insurance Pasadena, you guys popped up, and then I was like, oh my gosh, that's the same person that my barber told me to call, or, you know, the neighbor told me to call. And then it's just reinforcing it that by the time they call us, they're 80% sold.
Yes.
You know, because they know that they can trust us, they know that we're not going anywhere, they know that we can give them options. As long as, you know, we don't blow it, they're going to come to us.
Yeah.
You know, and so that sale is pretty much already made. It's just a matter of developing rapport with that person, finding out their specific needs, giving them options, and then 90% of the time we're making that sale. So I love it when people say to me, you know, well, do you want me to give you the laundry list? Yeah, I do, because that means that you're probably already made your decision at that point, because when you get referred to someone and then you find good reviews online about them, and then you find out that they're local to you, and then you see how long,
in the community.
Yeah. So all of that goes into play. So you can't just do one thing.
Yes.
You know, you can't just put an ad in the newspaper and expect that people are going to come find you. You know, we have an ad in the local newspaper, and we do that to support community and support community functions and events and things like that. But you know, it's the combination of everything that you do.
Right.
So you can't look at, you know, well, we did this community event and I didn't get any leads from it, because it just starts snowballing on top of each other.
That makes perfect sense. And that is true for a lot of businesses, not just insurance.
Right.
So, very good advice. Now, you mentioned that it's hard to look ahead and to figure out where your kids might fit in. But what are your long-term goals for the agency? Is it doubling again? Is it an additional location? Anything going forward?
Well, there's been a lot of talk. Of course, this place is near and dear to my heart because it was the first place that I ever lived, and then we took it over and made it all into an office space. So there's a lot of memories here, but we've talked about the fact that we can't really fit a whole lot more people here, so when we build a new building, when we make a new location, our goal is to double again. I mean, that is really our goal by 2020, is to double again. So we've got that in our radar. We've brought on some new staff members recently that we're hoping will help enlighten that and be able to relieve people so that we can, you know, grow. So the goal is, we'd love to buy another agency if we found one that's local. That's a goal. Our goal is to increase our footprint, which online has allowed us to do, because we used to get 90% of our business from Pasadena, Glen Burnie, the surrounding community, and now we've been able to branch that out. So that's still a goal, is to increase our target market area and to either buy another location or for a second location or to expand this one. So.
And would that be all in Anne Arundel County, or are you looking to go beyond?
I'd prefer Anne Arundel County. That's our home base, but I wouldn't be objected to going outside of the county. It would not be outside of Maryland. We would stay in Maryland.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for taking the time
No
to speak with
problem.
us on behalf of Informed Entrepreneur. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Nancy.